sad about it. So sad about it.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
And we look now at the offense for Indianapolis.
Ryan Kelly's to be a starter to handle big nose tackles as well as blitzing linebackers, and also able to move and get out into the run game and get to the second and third level and deliver blocks.
They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, Love. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at about the 14. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll try the left side. It's Evans, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Looking to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves you out that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
To throw on 2nd down. Love. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Check. Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can drive as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. The starters now on the defensive side of the ball for Indianapolis. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
This is an area of the game that they definitely have to improve because right now, against the pass, top 10 in the league. But against the run, that's where the struggles have come in. Got to find a way to make sure they stop runners before they get started.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Open man is Westbrook, complete. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Set the tone, defense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll try the left side. It's Evans. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline. Penalty. Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Come on, set. 90. Cool.
A run by Mack to start the drive. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. Now they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Mack. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, hard cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
On 2nd down now, it's Evans. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complimentary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. The numbers for Evans a week ago: 16 carries, 69 yards.
And I know that last week's game is over, but this feels almost like a continuation of what he did in the previous game. It's almost as if in his mind he knitted together the 2 weeks with no break. He's off to a nice start here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 3 yards is half. Other 3 here on 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And now the throw here is incomplete, and with that, we come to the end of the first quarter of play. We're scoreless after 1. Seibert's kick is good. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
And feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Colt offense and T.Y. Hilton making their way back out. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. On second down, it's Mack. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies. bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now this is Hilton on the receiving end. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down with Marlon Mack. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down now, it's Chandler. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. But it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball carrier did not benefit.
The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that 1st down gain of 8.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Frank Reich here on 4th down is ready to try for 3. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And this is rightly 3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. 2nd and 14. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against the zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback. No matter the situation in there, the defense won the battle. It's complete. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Miami. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. He juked him. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Rashawn Gary. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now?
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's Clinton Dix with a pick. And he will bring this down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner, forget starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Now this time he'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and goal.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
He'll drop to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami.
Touchdown.
D.D. Westbrook. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Starting the drive with a give to Mack. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, second down. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on second and 10. Now the pass finding its way into the hands of Eric Ebron. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. The reception good for 7. It's third down. The Colts on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Complete to Hilton. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Well, they opted not to run it. They completed the pass on 3rd and 2, but they lost yardage to bring up 4th.
Well, give credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They snuffed out the play. But it does bring into question, 1, the play call, because they didn't run the ball there. They could have run it. And 2, just not getting it. That's got to be deflating for them. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. This is taken around the 12. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They're starting to put some space here. You know, the first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good. They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap. And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a 1st. Back to throw here. Excellent. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Muhammad Wilkerson just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they? Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they? They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm. That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. So that drive, 4 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere. But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw. Love. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in a second.
Here they get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. They'll set up to throw. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, bye weeks, they're over. We've once again got a full slate of games to get to as we take you around the NFL here in Week 12. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit. And the Patriots have the lead in the final stages before halftime. Jacoby Brissett throwing the football well. He has 3 touchdown passes. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Tyler Boyd, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City. See what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And they've got the lead at halftime over the visiting Carolina Panthers. The Bears still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go!
Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get him.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
They'll drop the throw. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th. So 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but it was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know.
Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. A big play there. first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie-cutter, that everyone's saying the exact.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now a run and back. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last two possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll run it out of the gun with Mack. I think that's Mack who's still down. Yeah, it is. Mack apparently shaken up there. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Now a give, right side. Chandler. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. Operating from the gun. Love. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a give, right side. It's Chandler. They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run and the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. And his kick is good. And a second field goal here gets him back within 11 now. It's 17-6. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
3rd and 1, who are you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man. Hand him the ball and let him get upfield and pick up a first down.
Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Receiver downfield. Offense.
Well, they completed the pass but lost yardage, so they'll decline the penalty.
Perfect play for them, isn't it? Who needs a penalty? When you try and throw the ball, you don't even get it downfield, and they go ahead and snuff out the play. They'll take that as a result.
Son, 8 to 10. Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
They'll look to throw here. He finds his target. It's Evans.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. We just saw shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play, one-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too. And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills, you want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. And they'll get this down to the 10. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Pittsburgh.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. On play action, they'll throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kenny Moore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Although a jet sweep to start the drive. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Oh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Fielded at the 20.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. As soon as he caught that toss and looked upfield, you could tell they had a big numbers advantage blocking-wise.
They certainly did, which means oftentimes your safety will be unblocked. That means he's got to play it from what they call inside out. Don't let the running back cut back across your face. Keep him pinned to the sideline and go make the tackle.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Justin Houston able to record his 5th sack of the season. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. He's got his man. It's Andrews. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
And for the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
False start, offense.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll run here with Mack. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis 1st down. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had 3 tight ends in on that set.
And these guys are punching really well. I use boxing analogies a lot. A lot of coaches have told me that when you line up to run the football, it's 10 fistfights along the line of scrimmage, right? You've got to win your share. These 3 tight ends, they almost always win their fistfights.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 1st down, Love, short little throw to Ebron. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. The Colts on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Love. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. On 4th down, Love. And he's got his man, Hilton. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The Colts on 3rd down, a pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll make it a 2nd down. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. They run the draw play with Mack. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Love into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Now it's Mack, draw play. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15, a gain of 3.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Love. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking to throw. Love. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
They'll run for it. It's Mack, and nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped behind the line. He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
On second down, it's Evans. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Give him 3 yards on the run. Now they'll need to drop something good here on 3rd and 13. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is going to be 3rd and 13. They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can catch.
And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. No, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now it's the backup Mariota. And unsuccessful there, trying to dump it underneath. That'll bring up 3rd down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
A pass down the middle is fought for and hauled in. That's a 1st down and then some, a 32-yard pickup. You're at the point in the game right now where you got to start taking some chances, and that chance paid off.
And it's a good idea to be that aggressive because, truthfully, the defensive guys, they're just playing not to make a mistake. That often means you can make a big play against them.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Mariota now. And he comes back with one complete. And he will have the 1st down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4. Good enough to earn him yet another 1st down. Mariota now, 3 out of 5 since taking over as he's given his guys a 1st down. From the red zone now, Mariota. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the 2nd half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of run.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack, his 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys are back within a single score.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know, you
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand-new ball game. And now look at the situation. You've got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. And some room to maneuver. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Colts pick it up. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it. Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
He'll look to throw. He completes this one to Mack. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. Mariota yelling out the play call as he hustles everyone to get set. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mack. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
Mariota to throw for it on 4th. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on fourth down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, third down situation, big third down alert, lock in here. Fourth down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Now the Colts will use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
They put up their goal at the beginning of the season, and that was to win 7 games, and now they've accomplished that mission.
And congratulations to them for achieving their goal. They have to finish the season strong, but you got to think that going forward for next year, they're going to jump that number up a little bit higher.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Indy.